Hello, everyone, and welcome back. We're in day number 5 now of the Summit 2 by G2A.com America, and we just finished what had to be a very, very long, exciting, though, matchup between Gerg Squad, also known as Ham Ham Clubhouse, taking on Pain Gaming. And I myself, Kyle Guy, of course, joined again with Mr. Manly Mott. How you doing, my friend? You still hanging in there after that long one?
I'm still Gergen, man. That was a great game. I got to say it was very exciting and enjoyed it thoroughly. Very excited for this next matchup as well.
Yep, this matchup, it's going to be Infinity Stack or Infinity +4 taking on Team Leviathan, who are formerly known as Flipside Tactics NA. They have made their way all the way through the qualifier, 2-0ing everyone across their path, and they're actually sporting a pretty nice record so far, 2-1. So they're hanging it up there along with their Root Gaming buddies who also made it through the qualifier. So these two teams had the longest road thus far and have really proved to be well worth it. And we'll just go ahead and without further ado hop ourselves into that draft. And as you can see, with the man, it's going to be a long game, Mott. With the coin flip advantage, Infinity took first pick, and they got a hold of their precious Skywrath Mage. And Team Leviathan, look at this. They fire right back with two unorthodox first grabs. Wraith King followed by Troll Warlord. It looks like Team Leviathan have something up their sleeves, and they're excited to just throw together what has to be a pretty action-packed team.
Yeah, I'm hell yeah. I love Troll. I think this is a great hero. I'm very excited for it, but we don't see him too often. And the last real team that picked him in any major capacity was Mouse Sports when Fatsa played with them, and he picked Troll mid and went mech every single time. Now, it's important to note that this hero is great and everything, but you look at the teams they played against. Leviathan, I believe they went down to Root Gaming. They won against Sna and I believe Swag, and Infinity only have lost to Navi US with the two games they've won as well. Infinity +4 pick up the Viper. Strong pickup, a bit more standard than the Troll pickup to be sure, but we'll see how things turn as we get into the second ban phase here.
Now, I might be reaching here, but I do believe Leviathan have played Troll before, and I could have sworn they played it in a Tony Wisp lineup, which they could be open to grab here in the next picking phase. They'll have 2 picks to take it if they want, just to kind of boost up that attack speed even further. Or you could do something like throw it together with a core PA if you'd like, and just someone who can really benefit of it. But I'd have to imagine that when you go with a Troll pick this early, you're trying to keep your opponents, you know, as perplexed as I'm sure we are from seeing it. So as far as bans go, that's more traditional. I mean, they got to get rid of the Death Prophet, Void, and now Tidehunter's got to go. Infinity had already gotten rid of Brew, Razor, and Marana. This does, of course, still leave the Horse God, Big Bad Brad, the Centaur Warrunner in the pool if Infinity want to kind of get a hold of that extra global presence with the Stampede. And just most teams typically favor this kind of a grab. Also, Batrider is still in the pool. So a lot of high-priority offlaners in there, and Leviathan opted not to ban them.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. There's a lot of heroes that you could try to shut down MJW. I think if you've done your research, you know that MJW just loves Centaur in the offlane, and I think Leviathan should ban that out next. Otherwise, you risk giving away a Centaur with a Skywrath and a Viper, and that's frightening, honestly. I really think that that's just maybe a little too much. But Infinity instead banned it out themselves. They don't want it going to Leviathan, which is interesting enough. At the same time, though, everyone does play Centaur, to be fair. Everyone loves that hero for good reason. Yeah. It's quite strong. I mean,
he has global presence, like I already talked about. You put that together with Troll, and you got the early makings of what could be a pretty strategic global draft.
Yes.
So, you know, it could be something they could have been considering as well, but they're not going to get the benefit of it. Infinity, you know, when they pick up that Viper, I have to help but feel like that's a direct counter towards someone like Wraith King. We don't know yet if this Wraith King is a core grab or a support grab. The hero being as flexible as he is allows a team to grab him up nice and early, and you can kind of make an audible call as the draft progresses. Now what they see, the Viper, I'd have to imagine more or less it's going to be more of a support because he can get kited about way too easy in the hands of a Viper on the other team. So it just gets a bit scary right there.
Even with a blink, it's really just kind of sketchy against a Viper.
Really
so
really, really is. I mean, his majesty is one to make opponents take a knee, but not when he's not able to get in there and really unleash the fury. So even on the back of a troll, it could be interesting. But look at this. Disruptor and Leviathan are just kind of really thinking outside the box. Mostly we see a Disruptor who's great. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think Disruptor's one of the best supports in the game. I mean, not to be too biased because I love the hero so much, but he's just one of those supports. Normally we see him as a direct counter to something like, what Tinker, when he was big in play, and maybe like a Wisp. If Wisp was picked up, you can kind of use that glimpse to kind of counter back any sort of heavy global, jump in initiations. But also could be used effectively just overall as great crowd control. His static storm kinetic field can lock a big death caged match right in the middle and prevent people from getting anything off. Heaven forbid he somehow throws together an Aghanim Scepter. My God, and it becomes like an AoE Doom. But the big bread and butter for him is that glimpse ability. I mean, the range is ridiculous. It's like 5 million. No, it's like 1,800 range. And we put that together with the Thunderstrike, which gives him prominent vision. It's just so easy to get quick pickoffs. So I love the grab. I'm curious, though, if this kind of falls together in some sort of team synergy that they're about to throw together, or if they're just like kind of anticipating that he'll be needed in something that Infinity could pull out.
I really think Disruptor and Troll together is enough burst damage to just quickly take down anybody. If you get a good kinetic field off after the glimpse, you get Thunderstrike, and then your Whirling Axes do so much work. I think this is a good decision. But the problem is that BKBs counter this team pretty effectively. But I don't know. Troll's also a pretty decent right clicker, so that's the thing. He also has the mischance coming in as well with one of his abilities, and he's got slows, he's got attack speed. I mean, he's got bash. This guy's just got about everything in the book at his disposal. Too. Yeah, he's very red.
Red in the face. Let's get this guy some SPF lotion on his side.
He needs some aloe vera, man. He's hurting. Yeah. He's hurting right now.
Peeling's coming. But interesting that Leviathan they ban out pretty much most of the big team fighters. Got to get rid of that Earthshaker now, and they'd already gotten rid of Tide. And of course, Faceless Void can set up a lot as far as a team engagement. So they're not favoring any big AoE. They want to just absolutely get rid of. But Infinity don't seem to be going down that road. It looks like they get a hold of Nature's Prophet. Hard to say yet, really, where this Nature's Prophet can lie. We've seen him all over the place. More often than not, he's there right in the off lane, but we've seen him mid, and we've even seen him as a position 4. So it's really hard to say. And Infinity Stack is a relatively new team. They've only played how many games so far? 3 games so far in the Summit?
Yes.
Yeah, they're 2-1. So they're still right now holding one of the top 4 spots, but still very, very early here in the America Division. So it's hard to know yet exactly how this team works together. It's a bit of a hodgepodge. I mean, you got SNA, formerly of SNA, in the mix right here. Of course, Infinity, Lust, MJW, and SN are just kind of a ragtag group of NA Dota players. So you never really know what to expect from this kind of a group.
I mean, they certainly have looked good, with the exception, I believe, of their loss towards Navi America, Navi US. But I mean, this is a team with a lot of upside, I think, as are most all of these teams in this tournament and the American qualifiers for the Summit. So I honestly think this is a big matchup because both teams are sitting, in that top 4, I believe, including Leviathan. Leviathan pick up the Timbersaw. That's their offlane, more likely than not. We've seen what MSS could do with this in the last game. We'll see what Leviathan can get done in their offlane.
He hates trees.
He certainly does.
On the other side, he's going to cut them down. Those sprouts going to hold this man in place, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the burst because you need to be able to break through the tough shell of someone like a Viper. And it can fit pretty nicely here. He doesn't benefit a whole lot from Troll, but I think if they're considering something like, okay, let's say that it is a Troll mid lane and a Wraith King Disruptor support staff with the Timbersaw on the off lane, they could be looking for the late game on this one. They could grab something still in the pool that's prominent, like a Naga again, which, we've already endured one of those, but they can still make for high-octane gameplay. Terrorblade's also in the pool, and a Spectre. These are the 3 that immediately bounced out to me as far as 3 heroes that benefit a lot from huge farm gains, but also need the space to get to that point, and Timbersaw is one of those people to get it done. I preached about it in the last matchup. It didn't really hold out too much. MSS definitely struggled in the early and in the mid game, but at the end, he definitely had enough bursts. I mean, Aghanims has been a huge promising addition to Timbersaw and allows him to have a big late game presence. So I'm not really surprised to see him more often than not.
Yeah, and you talk about the late game potential for Leviathan. I think Spectre might be the best choice because of how much fighting potential you have early on.
And getting a hold of
you can just get in haunt. Like, if you just hit your R button and all of a sudden, like, boom, you're going to just secure somebody, at least assists, if not kills. And that just, that accelerates your farm so often. But Leviathan might just go for a different direction. They might not want to go late. They might want to take this game early because there is the Morphling on the other side, Infinity +4. They might want to have to lock this game down, take some towers and make sure Morphling can't get up to that point where we saw Morphling in the last game.
Could still be a PA as well. And Shredder's played it before, and she could benefit from the extra attack speed. I'd have to say Spectre PA would be a nice grab here, but really it's their ball game as far as how they want to throw this all together. And, Leviathan's a team that loves to show off cosmetics as well, so they could also pick someone who just has great style. I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't be surprised if we see either a Golden Doomling or a Platinum Roche in this lineup. These guys just love to show it off. And
oh, the Arcana. There it is.
Not as expensive, but still, this is yeah. I mean, it's the opposite. It's what you said. They want to be able to do big damage and have a very huge mid game, and not allow Morphling to really be out of control. So, a Shadow Fiend grab right here. The biggest, most significant Shadow Fiend play I've seen as of recent, just from the games I casted, was in the C region in the hands of First Departure Miracle, of course.
Wow, the legend.
And really took it to I want to say a Spectre or some other late game contender and just made him look like nothing. So it can be done. It's been done before. And they round out the Infinity stack lineup with one of the better supports in the game still. Sand King, instant burrow strike, has a good reliability to fall back in the jungle, though it can be hairy if you're sharing a jungle with Nature's Prophet for some reason, but he'll look to get a hold of that blink and make big team impact. All
right, well, here's the issue with the Shadow Fiend. Let me take you back to last night.
Okay.
When we had our good friend Ushdota playing with us, the Shadow Fiend. Remember the game.
Right.
Remember what happened.
Yes.
That's my problem, is that this hero is so susceptible to ganks that you have to keep him safe by constant rotations from supports, keeping him alive. And honestly, you'd usually see a troll in the mid lane, but it looks like we probably see Shibby going mid as he has a Wraith Band and a Tango.
Right,
so I don't know. This could be.
I don't think they have to worry too much. Now I say this, and of course anything can happen, but when you grab something like the Sand King at the end, I mean, this is a hero that needs to reach his quota, moving into the jungle and probably farming for himself and being a little more selfish. He might not look to rotate too much. Yes, Skywrath can, definitely, but he also will have a job of trying to zone back an offlaner. Now, we're going to see an early clash right here. They're moving as 5. Leviathan are trying to get some early presence in. They've done this almost every game. They like to move as an early aggressive group to try to benefit from a nice, quick first blood, but Infinity are onto this. I think they even pinged it out, and they're not going to catch anyone in the meantime, but here we go, folks. We are underway now. This is game number 3 today of 5 best of ones here in the Summit 2 by G2A.com, the America Division. And I don't want to lead out introductions yet because they are still looking.
It's scary, man. Like, you don't want to be in the middle of that introduction and have somebody just get absolutely obliterated. Shredder is looking for Lust, man, but they're going deep. They're just trying to make sure Lust has nothing to work with here in this jungle.
Yeah,
and that's, you need to make sure that's the case. More importantly, they're not really, other than the by the way, that ward is amazing looking, but that they are blocking the big camps. They're not dealing with the medium camps. They're just saying, hey, listen, we don't care about the easy, the medium camps. As long as Lust cannot stack up those big camps, we're in a good position. They use the Observer ward for one of them, the Sentry for the other. So the Sentry ward not going to last as long, obviously, but I mean, they're in a good position to try to deny him. However, I've seen Sand Kings just get farm denied before. And with Boots also, I mean, it's not like he can't get early kills, although this is a very difficult lane to kill.
Yeah, the aggressive offlane happening here with Shredder as their point man on this Troll Warlord is very funky fresh, and I'm definitely loving it. But let's go ahead, as no action will end up bursting out in the early on, and it is going to be Shredder here for Team Leviathan, formerly known as Flipside Tactics NA. They have dropped their sponsor, and they are not looking to pick up a new one unless they really make a name for themselves. And so far, they have won a lot of fans along the way through Summit 2 as they bullied their way through the qualifiers undefeated and are still making a strong showing here in the actual main rounds. And it's going to be Shibby, or not Shibby, Shredder. We are going to have a pause, so I guess I can be long-winded with my introductions, as it looks like we do have a DC happening here in Infinity's. Sand King Lust player apparently needs a bit of a restart, but okay. Well, we have New Shem. He's going to be playing your support Wraith King, and he's actually supporting in the Beyond the Summit set, at least the helmet. Nice, appreciate that.
I have that set. It's great. It's a great set.
To me, it's pretty cool. At the same time, it kind of looks like a bird cage on his head, like he went to the thrift store and just wanted to throw something together. But I guess it works out for now. Sunken, he's been playing your support Disruptor. I've seen him play it a couple of times. He does fantastic work with it. He got the early level in kinetic field and the clarity to throw out a bit of early harassment. Shredder, who's been the point man for Leviathan and doing a fantastic job with it for quite a while. He's playing your Troll Warlord. Mid lane, it's going to be Shibby, the mid laner, playing your now Arcana Shadow Fiend. Along the bottom, it's going to be Timber Saw, played by Jenkins in the solo safe lane, taking on the Nature's Prophet. You should feel pretty confident in this matchup.
Yeah, this is. I mean, MJW did start out with a double damage rune, but yeah, if MJW gets too close, Jenkins just jumps on top of him with the Timber Chain and just chakrams him, willing to get him down to death. So it's kind of scary for MJW, but for Infinity +4, they thrive under the pressure. For their stack, it's going to be MJW in this bottom all Flame Nature's Prophet mid lane, having a great time already. This is Infinity. You can see it in the middle of his name. With all of those letters strewn about there on the Viper. Top lane, it's going to be Lust playing your Sand King support. We'll have Sna, the former Nyx Assassin's player Skywrath Mage, and SN is going to be on your Morphling. And they change up their banners to something a bit different here.
Wait. Oh, this is the team that had that. Okay.
Yeah, yep.
All right, well, that's looks like a nice little fun fellow right there is their banner.
Great Fire
early
Blast.
stun and kinetic field is going to lock Sna in his place. The very flimsy Skywrath Mage might be taken down. Burrow, though, does save him. Lust, the bodyguard. Oh, one lingering right click, but that Tango able to give him that little bit of extra life and prevent that last right click from coming in. Almost a potential first blood coming out for your troll.
Yeah, that was very scary. Sna, I think, misclicked there, and he turned back around. He's like, no, don't do that. Stop, please. I don't want to die. And then the Tango actually saved his life, as you talked about. So really very risky play. Sna almost going down, but he's alive. And SN starting to try to find some CS. He's at 0 last hits right now, by the way.
Yeah, this is going to be an action-packed top lane right here with this aggressive try coming out. Something I'd imagine that Infinity were not expecting. Typically, you see these aggressive try lines come out when you have someone on the opponent team that you really need to take down a notch. And it looks like Morphling's going to be more than enough. Like usually with a Terrorblade or maybe a Naga here and there, but you don't want to allow this Morphling to find that easy bit of farm, and he is only 1-0. So at the second wave come in, they get a pull out on the side. Lust is helping him out with that one, but he's not getting a whole lot himself, so we could see a delayed blink dagger unless they get some pickoffs here, but already moving over and taking it is Leviathan with that Thunderstrike, man. They're not giving anything easy to the Infinity side.
This is the problem with the last pick Sand King. I'm really surprised they didn't go for something like, you know, maybe an Abaddon or just anything to keep them alive in this top lane. If you pick a Morphling, you want to secure him farm, and a Sand King is not the way to do that. However, Morphling can have a good time in terms of rebounding, but same can Shibby. Meanwhile, Shibby picked up a regen rune in the mid lane. He was getting crushed in terms of his HP, but based Ice Frog gave him the rune of regeneration. Although Infinity still is having a great time, though. 12 last hits to 7. Yeah. And I imagine he should be getting the early mech on this team, or something along those lines.
This is the nice thing about being a Shadow Fiend, especially on the Radiant side. You just kind of move on over and take advantage of this side camp. So you build an extra bit of souls inside farm, you know. Definitely what makes Shadow Fiend that much better. And more often we'll see him on the Radiant side than the Dire. But top lane, still playing footsie here between both teams. Anytime if they can find the opportunity to open up, Wraith King will get a hold of a support with his stun. And Sunken will be right there to lock him down. Hasn't invested a point yet into Glimpse, but I imagine once Disruptor gets to 3 or even 4 for the better, if he puts 2 points into Glimpse, it's already big range at that point that he can find a nice sweet pickoff, and they'll be quick to capitalize on it.
You know what's the surprising thing, man? We talked about how MJW, he shouldn't have a free lane here, but look how much CS he has. I mean, he's going at it here.
Yeah,
Jenkins is going to run in on him, but I don't know if MJW is really scared. At this point, he'll back away. Level 1 Whirling Death isn't the most damage in the world, but a Smoke of Deceit gang coming, but this is huge. And I love that they're going to get Lust involved early, too. They need to get him something going here.
Yeah, he has nothing. He's still level 1, and they are going to opt to use him more aggressively because taking down this Shadow Fiend is much bigger. And he does get his bottle. Shibby does. But he's doing the neutral camp, and they don't wait a long time. They get a hold of the regen. They ping it out, so they know that there's smoke nearby. So something is fishy. And they pull right back, so they're not going to be successful in the game quite yet. But no, Sna keeps moving forward, taking advantage of that Invis. But Shibby has to know. They had to have communicated that the Invis rune was taken, and he has to play very low. Like, stay on this side.
Look at where Lust is, and they just throw the sentry down. They know Lust is walking up to the high ground. Lust is like, I don't think I'm going to go that way. Instead, they're going to back and turn around. Meanwhile, there's the concussive mid. Shibby getting caught out. The Arcane Bolt, the right click. Are there TP rotations? This may be your first blood. TP way too late coming in from the Timbersaw. Viper Strike, they might be able to get Jenkins the Ancient Seal. Look at this damage. The TP in as well. They don't need it. I don't think anyways. Wow. Double kill coming out from Frankie. Infinity up to 1,400 gold already because of that engagement.
That is devastating to the mid lane right now of Team Leviathan. And I mean, they should have known the Invis was there and it was taken. They put down the sentry. They don't see him come forward, and it looked like for a while Shadow Fiend was playing it nice and safe, but ultimately Sna finds the right opportunity to open up, and Infinity just moves on in and right-clicks him home. And a relatively late rotation coming in from Timbersaw, and he also pays the price. And good call from Infinity to just keep the aggression alive. And this puts more pressure on Leviathan to get something back. Maybe in this top lane or something, because this is too strong of a start right now for Viper. And a Viper who has a great start is a very, very scary Viper.
Yeah, I mean, there are 2 lanes now that are going decidedly in Infinity +4's way. That's the mid lane and the bottom lane. SN can get back into this, and he's not even that far behind. 14 last hits. They will push out Lust, Bro Strike going in.
Yeah, they drop a kinetic field and they put Thunder Strike. Lust is immediately blown up, but they get the rotation from MJW. They want return fire, and they take down 1 support, and they'll take down 2. Still, Infinity +4 making the right calls. They get a good rotation, that global presence from Nature's Prophet, and they secure 2 support takedowns, and Shredder has to quickly TP out and back to the tower.
That's just MJW so farmed. Phase Boots and a Null Talisman. You saw he also got his Nature's Wrath right before he came in. He hit his R button, and they crushed everybody. And they can't even kill. They cannot even kill Morphling. Did they even get a kill on the back end of that?
They did take down Lust.
Yeah, that's
at the start of it, but they paid with 2 supports at the end of it. And,
exactly.
That's not a trade you want to do. So
no.
Now even their top lane, that was supposed to be like their better lane if the other 2 are struggling, is maybe at most on par with Infinity side. After handing that over, it just becomes more scary. Man, oh man, not a promising start right now for Leviathan, but Infinity look real sharp right now.
Yeah, again, the issue is making sure that they can keep getting some farm on this Morphling. But MJW, his job is going to be space creation. If they can create that space, then all of a sudden they are going to get plenty of farm on this Morphling. Frankie now has his treads up, Bracer and a Tequila. He is already hitting like a truck in comparison to that of the Shadow Fiend. In top lane, they are going to make a go on SN, it looks like. Wraithfire Blast. He's morphing strength. He's taking a lot of damage. Ancient Seal comes in, and SN stays alive, so.
That was it looked like they wanted to be able to open up and take something back for themselves, being at a 1-4 deficit. And will love their precious core troll to get something. Lust moves in. Quickly pull up the Sandstorm. They fire back. Ancient Seal, top of Burrow Strike, does huge damage. And here comes MJW. Picks up another sweet kill in this top lane. They do manage to take down Snob, but man, oh man, if Shredder falls as well, it's going to be another really bad trade, and it will be. And it's Sand King to benefit from it. For someone who hasn't had the opportunity to really find his own farm yet in the jungle, that certainly does help. And now he's got quickly 800 gold, and they take down the core. Troll Warlord. MJW gets a kill. Man, oh man, you couldn't ask for a better start for Infinity stack.
MJW is loving this game right now. He's even going for Midas, and he's almost got it. In fact, Phase, Null, Midas coming out. He's going to have a quick game. SN, though, getting caught out again. It looks
they
like
could glimpse
Thunderstrike.
back if they get close enough, and they will.
Yeah,
they
will.
pull him all the way back. Kinetic Field's not going to stop a waveform from getting away, and he's going to quickly try to morph in time right now. Can he get away from this one? They're going to try to right-click him down, but he's swole. It's tough water to break through. He needs another. Can he get the right-click? Turns the corner. Not going to be able to commit. Man, oh man, he scaves away barely. And another morally defeating engagement happening there, but it just doesn't get any better so far for Team Leviathan.
Yeah, this is just, they can't find anything now, and they're losing Hero's top. There's a Viper Strike mid, concussive shot. Shibi's going to try to TP away. Ancient Seal, he will make it out just barely, thank God. A death there could have been huge, and Infinity, well, he's just farming away. He's going to get drums up, and he's going to get a power treads as well.
Wow.
He's dishing out the damage here at 8 minutes and 30
So
seconds.
freaking farmed. Even if they didn't take him out, they take him out of the lane. And that's great. Infinity will just benefit from that. This is a guy who plays a promising Brewmaster and can really take advantage of a lot of early farm to be a strong mid-game presence. And that's going to be very nice for their Morphling, who is, you know, been on the back end of a few engagements here in the top lane, but hasn't got caught out yet, and he's 1-0, so not too shabby. Not as promising as an early farm start as we saw like the last game, but still, without feeding over anything and going against an aggressive tri-lane, I'd have to say that even this top lane's going very nicely for Infinity stack.
It really is. The fact that they have not lost Morphling is incredible to me. They've lost a couple of supports, but that's usually Lust. And, I mean, they've got everything going their way right now. And they have to find Shadow Fiend some stacks in the jungle. They've got to make sure they get farm for him. They've kept the Timbersaw down here for a while, so he's getting towards a bottle, a soul ring, maybe arcanes, and that's great, but, I mean, him having the most farm on your team is probably not the best. So,
I mean, that might be just the game changer, though, for Leviathan. They could definitely use some assistance from Timbersaw being able to be a strong mid-game presence, but he went straight for the soul ring. He almost has enough for his arcane boots here on the back end of these creeps. Should be able to snag it for themselves, and it looks like we did have a rotation. Leviathan moved themselves to the bottom with the Disruptor and the Troll, so maybe looking to make a push happen and start taking some objectives as Timbersaw should be able to grab his arcanes here momentarily, but we're going to need him to be able to try to dish out some kills. He's level 8. But still, who can you grab at this point? Just MJW is as elusive as ever, making great global presence. He's even doing a minor bit of high ground farming here on the Ancient stack. So even though there's not a lot to take on the bottom, he's constantly finding opportunities to take it towards this Ancient stack and just continue to build up that farm, man. He's got a Midas as well. Curious where he takes it from here, but he's going to get there quickly regardless.
Yeah, I think you could theoretically go for an Orchid. That probably tears through a lot of the heroes in this game. The only thing is that Wraith King doesn't really care about the Orchid. I don't know. There are a lot of options coming in from MJW here. He is going to go for the Orchid. He has Double Sage's Mask, so that's going to be his choice. Lust is building quickly towards a Blink Dagger, 1,600 gold. He's got off to a pretty good start. It's so difficult for them to kill any hero on Infinity +4, with maybe the exception of Lust and Sna. Yeah. Everyone else is too tanky or too elusive, like you talked about. Viper, level 3 corrosive skin, so he's got plenty of magic resistance up the wazoo. And he's just been setting mid. Infinity's just setting mid, pressuring this tower, and Chibi is on the receiving end of it, unfortunately.
Chibi has a fair amount of CS, but that's not comparable to Viper's, and as well as the kills that Viper's
71 CS, my god.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. And he's got his power treads in the bottle together, but not much else to really show for. Bottom lane, MJW is going to be scurried back away from the tower and just playing it extra safe. Hasn't handed anything over unnecessary. I was expecting Timbersaw to really have the upper hand in this kind of a matchup, but proving to make it much more the while. Oh, rotation's coming in. Disruptor has to cancel that one. Yeah, he had to.
Oh, man.
It's a little too late, and the tower went down. And his allies were just not quite close enough to really be there to stop them from making a quick engagement and taking him down, so he doesn't want to risk the play. And hands over 135 gold to nothing.
Well, unfortunate that they can't get a kill in the top lane. Shredder does pick up Vlad's, though. So at some point, if they want to head over to the Roach Pit, they certainly can. That's one of the ways they get back into this game is through Roshan, I think. And they have to smoke maybe or get a pick off beforehand, which is so hard to do. But Lust is going to come out of this jungle soon, and he's going to have his full Blink Dagger. And at that point, it's so scary to deal with. And MJW's going to have an Orchid. I mean, he already has 2 Sages, 2 Robes. He's buying everything in doubles. He's buying them in bulk, if you will.
Yeah, it's a 2-for-1 special at the
it really
market.
Is.
And he's got nice vests and masks for himself and a nice little masquerade party if he'd like, but still trying to make it work here. You know, Shredder hasn't gotten the back end of any sort of kill. He's got his Vlads for now, so going with the early utility, but you have yet to really see him unload on anyone with the benefit of that ultimate. There's not really anyone to make it work. Meanwhile, mid lane, we see a shift in from Timber. He gets silenced up immediately, and rotation from MJW, not even necessary, as they clean him out quickly. He does benefit from the kill, however, but now they're on the retreat. It's a hit and run from Infinity. A quick TP from Snog gets him out to safety, as they won't be able to scout him out, but nice glimpse catches MJW. They might be able to finally get a bit of redemption, taking down this pesky Nature's Prophet. They bring out the right clicks. Even Shredder gets in with his ultimate, and they get it down. Killing spree bounty is going to be picked up right there from the Disruptor, however, but still, nonetheless, Leviathan were in dire straits of getting some sort of kill to build up any sort of momentum. Still, after losing their Timbersaw, the trade maybe at best is even.
Yeah, that was, at least they got something out of it. And I mean, you talk about the killing spree, that at least they got that, but MJW with another smart play, he buys out his Oblivion staff before he dies. He loses very little, if no gold at all, pretty much. And all the while, Infinity's pushing down bottom. They took the tower mid. Mech is done. It is completed. Viper has a full mech in his inventory with the exception of the 2 GG branches. That'll finish it off. And the Smoke of Deceit, Lust has his Blink Dagger, but no ultimate. He doesn't have level 7 yet, so we'll have to wait.
Still, that blink instant stun, and it allows him to open up with a good follow-up. Shibi's nearby. He'll be scouted out by Sna. Sna sees him, throws out the concussive shot. They'll blink forward. They'll get the burrow, catch him in place. Mystic Flare locks him down. He's got a little bit of life with the power treads and Ogre Axe, but you know, now they turn back on Sna. They take down Shadow Fiend, who does also take down Sna because of the blow-up at the end, but still, it might not be a worthy trade as they get a hold of Jenkins, and Jenkins falls, and Infinity moves on to his own killing spree on the back of this Viper, and man, oh man, it just doesn't get any better still for Leviathan. Infinity continue to reign dominance in this early game, and we're getting ready to approach the 15-minute mark, and as mid-game approaches, it's looking pretty promising as well.
I mean, and what are you looking at for late game right now? Shibi hopefully getting towards the BKB and somehow getting soul so he can actually just fight. But he's still going to die to the right click, potentially, some of these heroes. Shredder isn't going to really produce that much in comparison to, like, obviously the Morphling or even the Viper with how farmed he is. MJW is a farmed up core in his own right. So the right click and potential to carry later on down the road is there. for Infinity +4, and Shibby really has to get something going here in the next couple of moments, because otherwise I don't see them coming back from this at all. SN is farming too effectively now. He's got a lot of space to work with. He's up to his Perseverance. He's getting close to a Lincoln Sphere, and it just gets harder and harder for Leviathan.
Yeah, both their cores are looking to build up BKBs so that at least can withstand any sort of onslaught that can come their way from Sna or what have you.
Infinity's in trouble.
But bottom is where the action's going to be. Infinity gets caught with a Thunderstrike. Static Storm locks him in his place right now, and he's just silenced out, forced to walk out of it, but Sunken eats huge right-click damage. Wraith King falls, but he does have his reincarnation. They do manage to quickly burst down Lust there on the back end, but Infinity still under pressure as Shibby moves on through. It's MJW without his Orchid complete, trying to bring in the right clicks. Ultimate burst down, and Shibby with a double, though. And now MJW on the run. Wraith Fire Blast catches him out. Oh, the Timber Chain does miss. Zoning Mystic Flare keeps Wraith King back, but still on the hunt. Jenkins out for revenge against his pesky Nature's Prophet rival. Wants to catch up with him. Needs one more chakra, but the Ancient Seal is going to prevent him from even getting that. Meanwhile, on the back lines, you see Sna going to try to TP away. Wraith King locks him in place with Wraith Fire Blast. Misses the chakram there, though. It's Timbersaw. And now he's going to be on the retreat as Morphling jumps in. Waveform, Adaptive Strike stops him from TPing away, and he goes down. Sna is not finished up from Wraith King. Wraith King gets Burrow Strike, and he gets caught before he can TP away, and Infinity still managed to come out on top. The recap does not show justice, but ultimately it looks like it's a 3-4-2. I think at the end of that one.
Yeah. I think it was about that. Yeah, they should have just taken what was given to them. They did not need to chase that far. They chased right towards the Tier 1 tower, and they get greedy. And I know MGW is so low, but this is the problem when you have a Timbersaw. Just don't Spider-Man it up and then end up killing yourself in the process. Just back up. You got a couple of kills. You were fine with that, and that's all they needed to do, I think. But
it's a shame for him because he had missed that Timber Chain. Had he grabbed that one Timber Chain, he might have been able to take down Nature's Prophet a lot quicker and not had to do that long chase. But just whiffs, just barely looked like it was out of range from grasping a hold of that precious tree. And like you said, man, he gets a bit overzealous trying to chase him down, and ultimately it just takes a brief rotation in, and now they hand over a kill to the Infinity stack. Morphling didn't actually get the last hit on that previous kill, but still, unnecessary nonetheless. And now Leviathan are trying to defend up this Tier 2 tower on the bottom. Morphling's lingering nearby, but they're still trying to bounce back from this huge deficit early on. 6-12 to score. The net worth still well in the favor of Infinity stack, about 7,500 gold in their favor as they continue to farm out their own jungle.
They're getting caught out maybe. Lust gets chakrammed up. He does have his blink up. Glimpse back in. Snot. You're dead, buddy. Goodbye.
Whoa!
Oh my, they ulted for him.
Holy shit, welcome to hell.
Yeah, seriously. Jesus, I don't know if that was necessary. They bring him down.
With authority. Nope. Leviathan want to try to take something back for themselves. And that's the power of Glimpse, man. He's got it level 4. There's no escaping. As long as he has the range and that Thunderstrike assists with that, man, you'll be caught out on your own quickly. Not even your ally will be able to get back to your aid quick enough.
Well, I mean, yeah, but they ult for Sna there, but that gives something for Shibby at the very least. They'll try to take this tower, but they're going to trade maybe a Tier 2 for a Tier 1. TP's in, Lust jumps in, and he actually uses his Throw Strike. There's the Static Spell coming in, Viper Strike as well. Glimpse coming back, Lust in some trouble. He is going to fall, but Shredder does go down to Infinity. Another TP, Infinity is going to take 2. And now another TP. This time he will get out because that's a BKB. Jenkins is going to make his way out of there as well. And they do take the Tier 2 tower in the top lane. Was it worth it, Leviathan? I'm sure they're shaking their heads right now.
It certainly was not. They get the worst end of that fight, and they lose that tower on top. That is still huge. Infinity just continue to come out on top. They may hand over a slight pick-off here and there, but it's just a flimsy little support. Uh-oh, Wraith King in trouble here. Does not have his ultimate. Desperate. Can he get out? Oh, my goodness. Last second. No! He goes down. Oh, His Majesty is fallen. Man, oh, man.
Orchid, so good item. Good item.
Orchid. Yeah, it is. Man, oh, man. He hits the deck. They get a nice grab there before his cooldown is up and available. And Infinity just continue to assert their dominance throughout this one. And now your MJW, Nature's Prophet, had already grasped his Orchid, but has near 3K. Actually just made a big investment there. But before we look into that, we might see a potential engagement here. They could go for a glimpse back if they want it, but they're second guessing it
now, though. If they glimpsed him, SN had just gotten his Lincoln Sphere. Yeah. That would have been huge. Replicate up. They'll probably realize that it's replicated. It's not bringing the smoke of Sunken, so they'll try to kill it quickly and do. So,
So
they
Nature Prophet
glimpsed it
does pick
actually
up
to kill it. So.
the ultimate orb, so he's going to go with the early makings of a sheep stick here, favoring a little bit extra CC and lockdown, it looks like. Not too bad. Great
No,
farm
that's
for him,
huge.
though.
Yeah, he's leading the way, and for good reason. I mean, he had such a good time bottom lane, and then coming top, he got those kills. Like, this is a game you dream about as a Nature's Prophet in that off lane. And he's been able to be involved in so many of these fights and kills. 6-1 and 4, in fact. So he's been involved in 10 of the 15 kills in the game currently, which is pretty damn good. They were trying to take Roshan, but they decided against it, realizing that everyone was around for Leviathan. And now we have to look. Shibby has caught up. He does have 3.8k gold. What's his next item is the real question.
Yeah.
He has second in the net worth now. So Shibby has done a very good job of getting back into this game. He has 165 last hits. They gave a lot of the jungle to him, so that's why he's sitting so pretty.
They sacrificed some of their other supports from building in the farm.
Radiant's courier
Allow him
has
to get
been
to that
killed.
point. Oh, Radiant's courier gets taken down right there.
MJW jumping in.
Man,
The
oh,
pesky rat.
Yeah, he makes it even hard for us to even keep track of what the hell's actually happening, as he just gets it done. Nice grab for him. As luckily Shredder has his BKB. He had it in his stash, the recipe, not on the courier. That would have been unfortunate. He's not going to be able to complete it out, but he will have it to the benefit. He might have to run back to base to get it, however, but having that in the next team fight would be a little more beneficial for himself. But man, oh man. The right-click damage has got to be next on the docket here, and they're going to need it to contest out this Morphling and now this Nature's Prophet getting out of hand. I mean, Infinity, of course, on this Viper who had a huge start. Now has a Yasha, so even his right click is starting to get built up. Man, oh man.
Well, at this point in time, Shibby does pick up the Helm of the Dominator, so he wants to play the long game. Shibby realizes that maybe if this game goes late, he can get some more farm using Helm of the Dominator. And he could also just, take like an Alpha Wolf, have that with him at the same time. He'll get plenty of life still coming. He'll build towards the Satanic eventually. In terms of right-click damage or just damage in general, I don't know what enemy he gets next. Maybe, like, at some point a Butterfly,
Roshan
but we'll
has
see. There's the
fallen
Aegis
to the
finally
dire.
going for SN as they do take down Roshan, and that gets him up to 2k gold as well. So he's actually almost tied now with Shibby, and meanwhile MJW and Viper are ahead of him, so there's Manta done for Viper as well.
Very strong stuff here for Infinity's side, benefiting from a nice early game. And Leviathan just trying to scrap together what they can, because a big team fight might be what they could be looking for here.
We serve
Either
the
that
same
or hoping that
purpose
Disruptor can get more of
all.
those sweet pickoffs. But as the defenses continue to build up here on the side of Infinity, those opportunities get much harder. And bottom lane, you have Lust lingering nearby, and it does force Wraith King to piece on out back to base. He does have his reincarnation available, but still doesn't want to have to use it unnecessarily before any sort of big team fight breaks out here. This is what could be the calm before the storm here, but I think Infinity benefit from it. With the Morphling on their side, their late game is pretty strong as it is, and they'll just continue to farm it on up.
It's really, I think, first of all, how many times have we seen, like, FY, especially for, Vici Gaming playing a Sand King, just do some work later on in the game? You have that, and also you have MJW again playing your Nature's Prophet, who's been farming like crazy, so... the thing is, Leviathan drafted this team for a team fighting kind of just organization here, and they just cannot seem to find one. Imagine if they get a big ultimate from, the Shadow Fiend, they get a glimpse of Static Storm, you have Troll coming in with the Battle Trance, and obviously everything that your Timbersaw has. If they can get all of that in one team fight, they might be able to win a team fight and get back into the game, but Infinity plus 4 have just not given them any room to work with in that regard, and now they're looking for more.
Ooh, Snot puts down a very aggressive ward right there, and actually doesn't get scouted out, but now they have huge vision up here. That's going to allow them to see the movement from behind the tower of Leviathan. As they've already moved down here, they're going to use that to their benefit if they wanted to press on in towards this tier 2. And it looks like that could be the case. You have Morphling leading out the front, potentially as bait here. Infinity also lingering nearby. He does reveal himself, obviously, but Snot's hiding behind the trees. Same with Lust, who does have his Blink and Force Staff with an Epicenter level 2 ready to go here. This could be a bad engagement here for Leviathan if they overstep themselves a little too far past this tower.
Infinity pinged on Shibby, so they know that he's top. I mean, Shibby could TP in at a moment's notice, but a moment might be too late at this point, as MJW is coming in as well, so this is potentially a big fight. SN has the Replicate, he also has the Aegis, and 4k gold, and if they win this fight at the tower, he's going to have his next big item, which could be an Ethereal Blade.
I like that they're cutting down the trees, catching out the Lust eats the Thunder Strike. Quick burrow in, they take apart Disruptor before he has the opportunity to get anything off. Return Fire takes down the Sand King, and they manage to burst down Morphling. The one Aegis life goes down as Shibby makes his appearance. They do huge damage. Can they take him down a second time? He's forced to waveform all the way through. Wraith King falls, but Reincarnation's going to be popped, and that's slow. Going to work, might force Inphinity to kind of pull on back and pull out the retreat. MJW gets stunned down, he gets burst down. Timbersaw cleans him out, but Shibby looks to unload here on the Viper, but bursting on back is Morphling, takes down Wraith King's second life, makes it a 3 for 2 thus far. Timber Chain not going to connect. Timbersaw also goes down. Infinity fight back hard right now. Take down 3 all day. Disruptor, make it 4 actually. Disruptor comes back from the dead, moves in, gets his ultimate off, but he might have a bit of a kill again, and he goes down for the second time. Shibby unleashes his ultimate fury, trying to take down Morphling. Can he do it? He can. Gets it done, sees Viper. Infinity has big damage here, and pulls back.
SN, what are you doing, buddy? You just ran right into a Shadow Fiend with all of his raises up. That was questionable at best. That was not a good fight from Infinity +4. They still come out on top, but that should have been a lot better. Lust jumped in. Lust walked in and burrow struck and just died.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, SN was up in the front lines. He died too quickly. They burst him down. The Aegis gets expended. And that was just not even a good team fight. And Leviathan could have gotten that so much better. It's just unfortunate that the Aegis was there. And that actually does give a BKB to the Timbersaw, so now they even have more to work with here. I gotta say, this is not over yet. I mean, Infinity +4, they need a lot more farm of this Morphling, and, you know, just better fights for them to actually take this game. They needed a better fight than that one, at the very least.
Yeah, that fight definitely shows that Infinity are as well in the head as it may look like on the graph, or how comfortable. It just comes down to making the right calls. I've yet to really see even Lust pull out a big epicenter engagement and really make strong use of that ultimate. As we see him in that one get taken down immediately after Burrow striking forward. It was to take down that Disruptor, who does end up going down twice, but man, oh man, the team fight potential is still very much there, and if they get a hold of someone on the back of a Troll ultimate, your Shibby Shadow Fiend can deal huge damage. Now, he does make an investment here. He grabs a Butterfly. Oh man. That's a nice grab. Obviously, no MKB on the menu relatively yet here for either your Viper or Morphling. So it's gonna be a lot harder to try to take down this Shadow Fiend with that. But here we go. They're gonna smoke up Infinity looking. Snaz leading out the charge here. Puts down another aggressive obs here. They have lots of big vision. Still with this one as well on top of the high ground. So they can see a lot of the movement coming out here from the side of Leviathan.
They decided not to go with that smoke C gang towards the mid lane. Probably a good choice, but I mean, you talked about it. Shibby has a Butterfly now, and I don't know. This is good. It's tougher and tougher to kill him. SN grabs a solo kill down bottom on Shredder. That's huge, actually. I don't know how that got done, but he was able to right click him down and just waveform him to death. So that's a big pickup. But it really comes down to Shibby and how heavy his you know, how big his shoulders are, how swole he really is. So we'll see how things turn out for him.
Lust is moving through aggressively behind the Shadow Fiend. Link in, Burrow Strike catches him. Can't get the BKB off yet. Also gets hexed out. Epicenter, he might go down, and he will. That was a nice lockdown coming out from Nature's Prophet and the Sand King. And Lust and MJW, the Hitman squad, get it done and take down that precious Shadow Fiend. So both your cores end up going down, and now Infinity can open up on this bottom tier 2 tower and finish what they started.
That was beautiful play coming out. The Burrow Strike Epi and then the follow-up to know that they would have the Hex, he wouldn't be able to get the BKB off. That's how you shut down the Shadow Fiend with a BKB and a Butterfly. You Hex him up, you bring him low with Epicenter, and you just bring him down with an Orchid and right-click, and they destroy him. And that's well worth the Epicenter. They got the Mega Kill Streak on MJW. He gets a bit of extra gold. He's already back up to 3.2k gold in the bank. He might go for an MKB himself.
And Lust gets a hold of Disruptor, who unleashes everything he's got and goes for a desperation TP and actually makes it out. Can't get White on through and get a hold of him, and now Wraith King shows up. Expends his first ultimate. Shredder shows in as well, as trying to take down the Snaz support. Does so in the back of a Timbersaw right there. Now they ultimately do manage to get Disruptor out of there. Wraith King will fall, and Timbersaw going with the one grab right there. There's Lust, very low life, and he blinks promptly out. This is going to force Timber to pull out his BKB. He's on the retreat, but that's not going to save you as they quickly take him down. Waveform as well as the right click coming out from Viper gets the job done. Big trade right there for Infinity.
Yeah, that could have gone a lot worse for Leviathan. I thought Shredder might have got brought down. MGW couldn't get the sprout off on them. He was too far away, but nonetheless, I mean, he picks a BKB up for himself, and now they're going to look to take this tier 2 tower. In fact, the last tier 2 of the game for Leviathan. And as questionable as that early fight down bottom was, I mean, these pickoffs for Infinity +4, that's what's winning them the game, and that's what's been winning them the game since the start. It was just MJW TPing in and them being all over the damn place. And Leviathan, they realize that nowhere is safe for them right now. Shibby has to get more into this vitamization, and Shredder is not doing really anything on this troll. He's not bringing that much to the game at this point.
He has a Crystalist, so it's an early start, but not going to be able to really hold a candle to the aggression that's been coming his way, especially with only like 1,300 life. Hop over to the other side, you see your Morphling, who's currently dishing out 206 plus 46 damage. Pretty big stuff coming out. And the heavy burst, of course, from Sna, if he gets the right opportunity to open up when a BKB is not available. And they got these BKBs early, so they're slowly dwindling down. Your Shadow Fiend only has 8 seconds left to work with, and Troll has 8 seconds as well. So by the time we get to that pinnacle point where Morphling really comes online, those are going to be down to 5 seconds quickly. And it looks like Leviathan are thinking about Roche, but they run to Lust. Lust gets caught with the back end, forced staff to get away. Glimpse is not going to save him, however. They do manage to take out the support. A nice grab from them. Infinity's on the high ground still. They know that a Roche is potentially on the agenda here for Leviathan, but
they have to push
that
top. They can't Roche now and keep top open like this. They'd have to have a lot of heroes that they get Roche in. I really don't think it's worth it because they might lose a tier 3 tower. SN is gonna have to replicate. He actually just waits patiently. Yeah, just smart.
They don't have a proper lockdown quite yet to be able to take care of him. They really don't have
Roche
a whole
hasn't
lot
even
of
respawned
lockdown.
yet. I thought Roche was up. My apologies. I thought it was live already. It's still down for another minute and a half. So
it's a pretty big clock right there. It's going to take a little bit extra time before the big man's up and available for a brawl. Still smoked up, moving through. Leviathan are just curious to see
Radiant's top
if
tower
Infinity
is under
are trying
attack.
to take advantage of it. They'll move in. They'll see some dead tree corpses if they want, but no one's there. They see the smokes aren't even popped, so nothing's happening from that. While Infinity instead are getting jobs done here on the bottom. Snan, Infinity hand in hand. Infinity has his Manta and also a Demon Edge, so your Viper, who's supposed to be like a tanky one, is also dishing out huge damage right clicks as well. On the way back, they might run into trouble though. They catch out Infinity just like that. He has to pop his BKB. He's going to turn and try to fight. Puts the Viper Strike on Wraith King, prevents him from really getting high and mobile. And they're going to continue to pursue potentially, but he manages to make his way out of there. But here comes Morphling, Wave Dash all the way on through. They take out Disruptor for the Skywrath trade, but they're still putting big damage here on SN, who commits that waveform. Might huge damage to Shibby's right click, but they also take down the Timber. Infinity doing work on the side right there. Now Shibby's under pressure with no more BKB to work with. He gets caught with the Burrow Strike, and Wraith King also falls. Now Shibby all by his lonesome here on the bottom, while Shredder's at the top on his Troll Warlord. He's in big trouble, and they're just going to kite him about. Burrow Strike after Infinity right click. Oh, nice dodge with that right click there with the Sandstorm, and yep, they take down Shibby, make it a 4 for 2. Huge fight there with Infinity at the advantage. They didn't have the benefit of Shredder, who's currently split pushing the top lane, could only contribute globally with his ultimate.
That was just guerrilla tactics, man. You talked about it. They were kiting him around. Shibby, I mean, you saw them just kind of like circle around him, but they were like so many safe meters away. You have the blink coming in from Lust. He burrows up. SN can waveform in and out of the engagement. Viper's quick enough with the Manta style, and he can kite him himself as well. They just played that so well. And I was concerned once Nushim had his ult pop that SM was going to go down, but he stays alive, man, and they're able to pick off even more heroes. And it's just, again, it's increasing that lead even more and more. 15,000, almost 20,000 net worth lead for Infinity +4, and a 20,000 experience lead. And it's going to be tough for them to throw this one away if that's the case, so.
Yep. Roche is up conveniently for them. They move on in. Battle it out with a big one. Get a hold of that extra bit of life. And Leviathan are not going to be well and prepared with any way to really contest except with these pesky little troll illusions, which they managed to call out after they moved them up in the air. And they'll just finish what they started. Nice quick grab. And oh man, it's Infinity. The ball's in their court. It's pretty much their game to lose at this point, but Leviathan are going to have to really dig on deep if they want to pull out a strong defense in this one.
Yeah, they have to dig deep, and they've got to have Ice Frog give them some base runes and RNG to win them this game, because at this point in time, they are a couple of items behind, with maybe the exception of Shibby. But I mean, we're only really looking at a Butterfly, BKB, and a Helm of the Dominator. That's like 2.5 big items. I mean, he needs a Satanic before he can even really contest some of these heroes. And Essen's not even really the most farmed hero in the game.
Brief glimpse on Snob, but Snob's too quick. It's out. The kinetic field. Static Storm is even going to be used for that. He's moving forward, but yeah, he's done. Oh boy, that wasn't the big long glimpse that they had hoped for. Timbersaw does make his way out with that TP, but that's a unfortunate feed right there from your support disruptor on the side of Leviathan, and it's Infinity who just quickly rotate in on the back of a Nature's Prophet and get themselves a free kill.
And these BKBs are starting to get low now for Leviathan. I mean, Infinity got his BKB earlier than I think everyone else did, and it's still at 9-second duration. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but Shredder does TP out, but that was close. Sprout comes in a bit late, but yeah, the Sprout gets there early, and they probably get that kill, but no such luck. And Lust has got a Ghost Scepter, so he's okay. No real big epicenters other than the one top that killed Shibby. And now here's the problem. Here's the major issue for Infinity +4. How do you crack the base? How do you get up to the high ground? Well, they're going to try to find a way to rectify that pretty soon.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see how Infinity can try to crack the tough defensive shell that Leviathan will offer. I mean, Disruptor thrives best in close quarters combat, and that's what high ground's really all about. That you put that together with Shadow Fiend and his big ultimate, as long as he has the opportunity to really dish it on out with a good BKB, which is now down to 7 seconds. Things can get hot and heavy real quick, and it's going to be on Infinity to try to build up the farm before that point and make it happen. And look at that, Timbersaw picks the duels here. A little extra move speed and able to, I don't know, I guess prevent a lot of excessive right click. They could throw Infinity up in the air. Looking to come in from behind those Snies and Viz. They're going to scout him out. Shredder actually pulls out his BKB and will be able to make an escape. No, the BKB expires at the end and they get the Yules off. He was probably like spaz clicking it on there. And Shredder's going to be stuck here. And now it looks like Timbersaw pops his own BKB, but Shredder has to eat part of that epicenter. Shredder on the way to finishing off MJW though. Oh, gets taken down right in the back end. Meanwhile, Timbersaw is going to be more fortunate on the getaway here on the bottom, but they lose their Troll Warlord. A huge pickoff right there for Infinity and Sna, and that Invis able to stop him from getting away.
He will have buyback. SN's going to try to fight Shibby in the mid lane here. SN does not have an MKB, but here comes MJW. Static Storm SN. He does have the Aegis. There's the Aegis going, but Shibby getting right click down. They will take down MJW. And now Shibby's going to try to TP out, and he makes it away somehow, but Sunket's not so lucky. Nujam getting caught out as well. His reincarnation is about to pop. We'll go. Chakram's up as well. Nujam, Viper stricken, Burrow struck. He's dead. Shibby's so damn lucky to make it out of there alive. MJW being a bit too aggressive with that CPN just gets obliterated by that ultimate coming in from Shibby. So they'll push into the high ground now, I think, but I don't know what they can get done. Shredder does have buyback, but he's up in 16 seconds anyways.
Really promising engagement still for Infinity at the back end and taking down Shredder in that top lane. They get a lot out of mid. Shibby did stand his own in that mid lane, but his BKB now is down for 20 seconds. Infinity pressing on forward. They don't have the benefit of that Aegis anymore. Might need to second guess what kind of commitment they want to take, but oh boy, there it is. MKB now complete in Infinity's hands, so your precious Butterfly on Shibby. Not going to be as promising as it once was. That evasion going to be quickly manhandled now from the right click of Viper. So we had saw it work to his benefit there in the mid lane, or the mid fight, but not going to be so significant now, as things are going to get a little more scary now for Leviathan on the pullback, as they might have to just rely on a strong high ground defense to really take back some huge bounty gains and take advantage of that rubber band effect, I guess, from 6.82.
Yeah, they're really kind of banking on SN not having any farm, but he has plenty. Yasha, Lincoln's, BKB, Butterfly. He doesn't. I mean, he still does a lot of damage right click wise. Shibby is really the only thing between, I think, Leviathan or Infinity in the high ground. I mean, even with base clearing or wave clearing Chakram, even with like a big ultimate coming in from Disruptor, even with Troll Warlord and the amount of damage he does, I really think that the biggest issue now is Shibby and his itemization. So, but we'll see how things turn out. 40 minutes into the game, might wait for another Roshan. That's a while away though. So. At this point, Infinity +4, split push, get your next items up. MJW really needs nothing. He's got 3k gold. He's almost 6 slotted. He's 2 slots away. Yeah, he's in a good spot. So
we have some serious MKB gaming coming up. Morphling has his own butterfly. No MKB for him, but you see the early makings of an MKB on both your Shadow Fiend as well as Troll. So they're also looking to fight back against the evasion. But they need a little more time. And time is something they might not have, as the split push is starting to brew here. SN on the bottom on his Morphling is adding pressure here, while the rest of his team moves in from the top. And of course with the Nature's Prophet on the other side, he can add a little extra pressure wherever the hell he wants. For now, he's going to move up towards the top area. He's got a Hyperstone, probably the early component of a Mjolnir, if he'd like. Maybe AC, who knows. But now he's farming
AC
up the
is good for pushing in the base. I don't know if he builds it though. I guess it's probably him and nobody else. If anyone else is going to build an Assault Cuirass.
It could be Viper.
I mean, Mjolnir's fine too. I don't know. Either or are okay. You don't usually see Nature's Prophet building an AC. Yeah, that's right. Viper could probably build an AC if he wants to.
Invisibility.
But
uh-oh. Smoke rotation. This could be a big play. Snaz and Biz, though. Oh, they see him.
No, they saw
the
replicate.
Don't. They just see the smoke pop and someone there.
They thought it was the replicate, and they have no idea. Oh, man. SN's laughing to himself right now. He's going to wait for him and TP away, and he gets that just fine. Yeah, that's really rough.
Ends up being to no avail. Promising turnaround that Leviathan we're hoping for. And now pressure's coming in from Lust on this top lane, while a lingering Sna, who pretty wounded from that brief engagement, is still alive and kicking, flying around this mid lane as well. So Leviathan are going to have to double back, hopefully finish some of this item progression a bit, and be able to put up a strong defense. It's just a matter of time before Inphinity feel confident enough to move in. I mean, they could also wait it out and play it extra safe for the Roche to be back up and just hope for a small timer, but we'll see. Yeah, Viper's scouting it out right now. That might be the case here for Inphinity. They probably want to just wait, get a hold of Aegis, and then go for their final blow.
This is where the game for some people gets tedious to watch, but it's just chess stroke after chess stroke, just seeing who makes the move first, who goes where. The MTB is now completed for Shibi. They know they're walking a tightrope, and if they get caught out without buyback, and if they just get one fight going not their way, they're going to lose. They have to save buyback for Shibi. Shredder buys something, so he actually is finishing up his MKB now. So MKBs all across the board.
Yep.
There is 2 on the side of Leviathan. There is 2 on the side of Infinity +4, and in fact, I believe SN is building one as well. There will be 5 MKBs in the next couple of moments here.
Both teams have a serious tab built up at the Monkey King bar, and they're looking to cash it home now.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good bar. That's, yeah, you know what? Listen.
Whatever.
It's good stuff.
Shredder confidently down this mid lane, though. Luckily, no Infinity nearby to pounce quite yet, as SN creeps his way in on his Morphling. Looks like he also wants to get a part of the MKB action. I don't know if that's something you just talked about, but a Demon Edge.
Yeah, I think he's going to grab it.
Pretty good. Route to travel now picked up on your Timber Saw. Mobility continues to get better. He did not go with the cookie cutter kind of progression. Oh, look at Lust. He's got all the intel he could ask for right now as he's lingering nearby. Uh-oh. Oh, they got vision. They get a hold of him, but he does get out before he gets held in place, but they ultimately do take him down. Where do they see him? Is there a ward I'm missing? I don't see one. Well, they're going to continue to press on in regardless. Infinity, considering doing the Roche, they get a hold, lock down Infinity. And, well, he could be in a bit of trouble, but so Shredder gets caught out easily just like that. And it's Wraith King trying to go and move on in. Shimmy from the high ground ultimately does get taken down. And they only end up taking the Aegis right there of the Viper. And, well, as said, cleans out the rest. 3 down. Timbersaw can't quite catch his Timber Chain. BKB not going to matter too much with the right-click power coming on through. And it's a double kill for MJW, cleaning house on this Nature's Prophet. They don't need an Aegis now. They're just going to continue to press on in from both the mid and the bottom lane. Buybacks are going to have to be used, not by Troll, but as well as the Shadow Fiend. And this,
they only have 2.
This might be their last defense.
Yeah, this is going to be a great fight coming out from the +4. They don't even need Lust. They have too many items at this point. It's just a game of they're too far ahead. They're going to burrow in. They're going to find Shredder. No BKB. Hexed up. He's done. He's down for 90 seconds. Ownage call it again for the announcer. And they'll look to take 2 sets of racks. And maybe even just make groups off the back end of this. SN is going to go home and then replicate back in. He'll purchase up his MKB, the 5th of the game. Shibi is way far back. He realizes that if he even comes close to these tier 3 towers, he's going to get blink, burrowed, maybe even hexed up. Mid racks, bottom racks, both gone now. As Leviathan look like they're going to lose their 2nd game in the Summit to America. And, well, looks like we will have Infinity moving up to 3-1.
Radiant's middle
They're looking
barracks
damn
has
good,
fallen.
gotta say, for a ragtag group that can put themselves together. They rock their captain, manager rather. MJW gets caught out, but pops his BKB. And, well, see you later, Wraith King. But second life, see you later again, Wraith King. Take a knee, my friend, as he will ultimately go down. They're going to move their way on the last set of racks, and I wouldn't be surprised if Tal is going to be thrown in here momentarily between the Leviathan. It's been a struggling game from him since the beginning. Shibby, though, with his last hurrah, jumps on in with his BKB, trying to right-click down Viper. Viper's happy to go toe-to-toe, however, and he wins that skirmish. And that's enough for Leviathan. They have clearly been outclassed in this one. Infinity looked damn good.
Has fallen. Radiant's top barracks has fallen.
Yeah, that was just...
Victory.
The top lane did not do enough. And I gotta say, MJW had one heck of a game. That was one of the best games I've seen coming out from MJW. And honestly, just that off-lane Nature's Prophet, I don't think she'd ever get that amount of money in that game. And well, let's see what his GPM was. 737, huh? So good that it's an airplane. Jeez.
So good indeed. Man, oh man. Promising show by Leviathan. Like you said, secures them a new 3-1 record here at the Summit. Looking strong, moving on up into the now top 2 spot. Actually, they're tied now with Navi North America at the top. And for, sorry, Team Leviathan down to 2-2. They'll need to continue to bring in the wins if they want to be able to secure their own top 4 position to move on into the playoffs. But that was just game number 3. We got 2 more to go, Mott. I hope you're ready. We got 2 more best of ones, and our next matchup is actually going to be Root Gaming taking on Complexity. Complexity have only had 1 game so far, and it was a damn strong showing. And this is a team that had been boot camping and taking this a whole lot seriously. I'm expecting strong stuff from them as we'll get ready to hop into that game. Thank you so much for hanging out and supporting us. If you want to continue to do so, catch me on my Twitter at CoddleGuy. Catch this handsome stiff man to my left over on his Twitter at MottDota. A pleasure as always. We'll be back with Root versus Complexity in just a moment.